You're now watching the series Notepad App with Python and Qt. This is episode 2, and we will be working on the base interface. With that said, let's dive in. In our main.qml script, we're going to define a column layout. That means the elements inside will be rendered one by one vertically. And we use the anchors.fill property and we set it to parent. That means the column will fill the parent window. And the very first thing we will define is a toolbar. Inside the toolbar, we will have a few buttons for a new file, open file, save, and save as. So to do that, I will create a row layout, which is similar to the column layout, but the elements will be rendered horizontally. We can add some margins to the layout using layout.topMargin. I'll give it 10 units of top margin, and for the left margin, it will be 5 units. Below, we will make use of the repeater. A repeater is like a loop. For example, we have a few buttons in the toolbar. We can simply define the styles once and apply different tags to the buttons. So first, we have to set the ID, and I'll call it buttons. And we need to define the model. A model is basically an array, and inside I'll write new, open, save, and save as. So this is the model, and below we will define the button. For the buttons, I'll give it an implicit width of 80 and implicit height of 35. So it's a rectangular button. And below we can write content item, and we will set it to text. For the text, it will be buttons.model index. So by default, the repeater will come with an index, and we can directly access the index within the elements inside the repeater. This line here automatically retrieves the value of the item at index from the models array. For the color, we will set it to black, that is the text color. And for the horizontal alignment, it will be text.align edge center. That means align the text horizontally at the center. And we do the same for the vertical alignment. And this time it will be text.align v center. And below this one, we will write background, and we will use a rectangle as the background, and we will set the color to a gray color, so EA, and don't forget to add the quotation marks to make it a string. Let's now save the script and run the program to check out our toolbar. So as you can see, we have a few buttons here aligned horizontally, and these buttons here are defined based on the model array that we created earlier. But now you can see, since there is nothing below, they're placed at the middle of the window. Let's close this one and go back to our QML script, and we will define the main text area. So we can fold the row layout, and let's give a comment here to mark it as the toolbar. and below we will write a scroll view. So we use a scroll view to enable scrolling through the text area. And first of all, we have to set layout.fill width to true, as well as fill height to true. So these two lines automatically fills up the empty space around the element. Below, I will set the margins for the scroll view to 5 units. And additionally, I will set the scroll bar.vertical.policy to qt.scrollbar always on. What this line does is that it forces the vertical scroll bar to be always visible. And let's also set clip to true. Now inside the scroll view, we will define the text area. And let's give it an ID of text area. And of course, we have to fill up the space between the text area and the scroll view. And again, I will give it another margin of 5. And inside, we have to set select by mouse true. That means the content can be selected by the mouse cursor. And the wrap mode is text edit.wrap. And we can set the font size by using the fonts.pointSize property. Let's give it a value of 12. That means 12 pixels. And for the text color, I will set it to black. Now again, we have to define the background, because by default elements without a background will be transparent. So here I will define the background for the text area as a rectangle with a color of CACACA, which is a darker gray color. Let's save the QML script and run our app again. And now it looks like a proper notepad with a few buttons at the top which we can click on, as well as a text area where we can type our text content. And there we have designed the basic interface of our Notepad app. In the next episode, we will work on the file saving features as well as the on-click handlers for the buttons. I'm Yellow Flicker and I will see you in the next episode. Stay tuned!